probably. I said, they are speaking just what you want to hear. They do not know. I say, we are running a risk. Yes, it's covered by insurance, not by me. My vessels are hired for next 10 years. There's no risk of business. We are partnering with a person who's expert in creating shipping company. So where is the wrong? So that's the day I was made director from a vice president. सबसे पहले you should know what is your passion. Don't pretend it. If you do not like selling, don't get to that. Now, whatever business you do, there are three fundamental things you should look at. Is the business doable? Is the business scalable? Is the business repeatable? And fourth thing, is it profitable? If I'm investing money in somebody else's company, that means I'm wondering that that person is better manager or better CEO or better entrepreneur than me. So as a rule in my life, I've never invested even 1 rupee in stock market.
That relationship with your family has helped you grow?
Absolutely. Unless your family is with you, you can't do anything in life, be it a job, be it a profession, or be it a business. If you are not at peace at home, in a day you spend roughly 14 to 15 hours at home. And if those 14 and 15 hours are not conducive, they don't make you feel good, they don't keep you happy, they don't keep you charged, you can never perform in 8-9 hours. So unless your family supports you, you cannot grow in a business. Then again, what you take from families, be it parents, be it your spouse, be it your children, are their vision and your vision aligned?
KS Cheema, a man with a reservoir of knowledge and so much of experience that anyone can learn from him and become successful. This episode is a very productive one, and I would highly recommend every one of you, be it anyone, students, businessmen, a corporate person, or anyone. I'll really suggest you to listen to this episode, because in this episode we have had conversations about business. In this episode we have had conversation about Cheema Sir's journey, and in this episode we have also got to know that how is it to own a Mercedes franchise. This episode was shot at Central Star Perimeter Garden showroom, and this showroom is owned by Garnet Motors, and over there we talked about the Mercedes S-Class. We also talked about how is it to run an automobile franchise, how is it to face losses, and how one can recover from it. This episode is tailor made for all the business persons who would love to venture into business world. So highly recommend every one of you to listen to this, and I hope you enjoy this episode. So with that, let's get into it. Welcome to the podcast.
Okay, so welcome Cheema sir. Welcome to Kya Haal Chaal Podcast. It's a pleasure for us to have you over here. And yes, सबसे पहला सवाल, how's your हाल चाल?
Fantastic. एकदम बढ़िया.
Wow, sir. And the same is for us. Today the energy levels are very high, excitement is very high, and I'm personally very much looking forward to this conversation that we are going to have. And yes, this is a very special one, because today I'll be learning so much more, and you have given us such a great opportunity to come over here at Central Star Mercedes-Benz at your branch to have this conversation, to get so much of learning from such a learned person himself. So it's too much for me, and I'm very happy, and I'm very thankful to you for giving us this opportunity. Also, we'd like to thank our gifting partners, Bazogi Perfumes. They have specially made a customized perfume set for you, and yes, we thank them for being our gifting partners. They look good, they feel good, they smell good, and yes, do check them out. So with that being said, sir, your journey has been very inspiring for a lot of young individuals. When I heard you at your event at KS Cheema Seed to Reality Entrepreneurship event, I saw something very different. एकदम से मतलब वो experience जो है ना, it was speaking out very loud, and from that day I was like कि I want to learn from this man कि एक business का solid foundation कैसे बनाते हैं, and मैं वो अपने listeners को भी सिखाना चाहता हूँ. So for that only, so the very first question that I want to ask you for today is कि can you share with us in brief about your journey कि like आपने कहाँ से शुरुआत की, एकदम short में, because in further podcast we'll be discussing that, and थोड़ा सा अपने inspiration के बारे में, that why you started KS Cheema group of companies.
So I come from a very humble background, financially not very rich, but culturally and ethically very rich family. And one motto in life was ingrained in us that whatever you do should be ethical, should be honest, should be transparent, and should benefit the society at large. So that was inculcated in us right from the childhood. And with that, whatever we did in life, that remained our motto even till today. So we want to be ethical group, we want to be professional, we want to be transparent, and we want to be customer centric. So with that, we started various business. Like I started my career with the Indian Air Force, went on to legal profession, worked in MNCs as a senior executive at the board level, and then started my own business. But those constant pillar of honesty, ethics, transparency, and honesty, they always traveled with me. They always remain ingrained in me. And I think those are the strengths on which I've built this whole empire.
Wow. There's so much, this line that you said that I come from a very humble background, culturally rich, that is such a strong line in my opinion. And that day when I heard this line at that event, I was like, man, matlab, this is so strong, this is so powerful. I have honestly bragged about that line a lot. So, and yes, this is one more thing. When I was, when I was doing my research for you, मैं आपके बारे में जब पढ़ रहा था, articles देख रहा था, I got to know this thing that you are very much into, like आपके अंदर एक interest है real estate के लिए. Like in 2012, if I'm not wrong, you started your journey into real estate, you stepped into real estate, and मैं बहुत उसके बारे में curious था कि what was like उसके पीछे की क्या story है. So I want to know कि आप real estate में, when you entered in real estate, what was the inspiration behind it?
So as I told you, I come from a very corporate background. And at whatever level you work, you have a limitation of funds when you leave or when you start to become an entrepreneur. So I also had a limitation of fund. But with that fund, I wanted to make sure that my first entrepreneurial journey is successful. Okay. So real estate is a one business. Either the money is with you, money is in the sets which you own you, and again when you sell the sets, money is with you. So you can never ever lose 100% of your capital, because when you invest in a land which is in a set, you invest in brick and mortars which is again in a set, and then you build a real estate and then you sell it, and again money comes to your account. So I want to start something, even if the profits are low, at least my money is saved and I learn all the tricks with my own money. Then we have to create a difference from the society. So normally people will build a typical building, try to maximize the potential, sell it and get out of it. So I wanted to bring a concept to India where it's a happy living. The first project we created, which is KK Lifestyle, there's a huge 300 cars guest parking, which is never heard of in Nagpur. It's a gated community. There's security for children. There's a children play area. There's an open ground where you can go and read the books. There's a covered swimming pool, which is not there even in 5-star hotels in Nagpur. There's a community center. There's a gym. There's a jogging track. And we have kept a huge ground by the side where you can hold small functions, marriages, concert, musical evening, whatever. So people adopted it as a home rather than a just investment. And I think till date we can take a proud that that's the best real estate project ever happened with Arpa from a community point of view.
Wow.
And that also gave us a confidence that yes, we can do it. If you do things better, people are willing to pay more.
One more thing, sir, that I have observed about real estate is there is a story behind this. मैं अभी like when I'm in my right now I'm in my second year of college. When I started college, हम लोग का एक competition था. There was this case study competition by Navratna University where I was there with my friend. I participated with my friend, and हम लोग को real estate का एक project दिया था that you have to study about JW Marriott. I started the study, and over there I learned one thing: कि this market is very volatile. When we were studying Marriott's case, we saw that KS Marriott was completely shut down. Their projects were stopped in between, and they had to, diversify. They opened multiple ventures, and then they restored their profits, their shares, and everything. So this made me thought कि इतने volatile market में भी you have made a very strong hold in this market. Now you have a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience about the same. So how do you, despite of so much of volatility, so much difference, so much ups and so much of fluctuation, how do you gather opportunities from this market? उसमें से, how do you take out the best of that market? How do you gather the opportunities, and how do you make profit out of this market? If someone who is aspiring to get into it, आप उनको भी कैसे suggest करोगे कि जैसे आप ये कर रहे हो तो वो कैसे कर सकते हैं?
So like any other business, there are three factors in any business. One is your acquiring cost, one is your completing cost, and third is your delivery price. So one has to be very diligent at what price you acquire the land, which is the raw material for the real estate project. You have to calculate the whole project financials before you even start investing in a land. You cannot just take a land because everybody else is investing and I must invest and I must take this place. So you have to prepare a full project report. This is the cost of land. This is a fund I'm going to invest. I'm going to sell it after 3 years. This is going to be my interest cost. This is going to be construction cost, marketing cost, and am I making money? And then give it a buffer of 20% loss.
Okay.
Whatever it's showing that, so that you have a worst case scenario. And if that worst case scenario brings your money back in something, that means it's a good project. Okay. And then when you do it, create a differentiator. Do something which nobody has done it.
Okay.
Right? And the moment you create a differentiator, it doesn't have to be very luxurious. It has to be something which appeals to the people. Like in our case, we did open plumbing. So you never ever have to break a wall or flooring if there's something leakage in the flat. Nagpur people were not willing to accept कि ऐसा हो सकता है.
Okay.
But if you go and look at my project, it's almost 3 lakh square foot plus.
Oh, wow.
All the pipes are open. There's never ever a breakage required of tiles or floors if some leakage happens in the project. So this is a new concept we brought in there. So similarly, you have to look at spacing, right parking, right security for the children who are playing in that area, right entrance, right ambience, right greenery. So you bring something different. Don't create a concrete jungle. Create a livable place and people would buy it and you will not lose money.
Wow. So it would be right for me to say that detailed planning, and along with detailed planning, the calculated risk factor should be there. Ki, if, like as you mentioned, ki buffer loss bhi leke, you have to take that 20% buffer loss. You have to keep that in mind. Ki, okay, there are chances that things may go south. You have to keep that.
So that's what we call a worst case scenario. You must make sure that in worst case scenario, at least you cover your capital and the total interest accrued and your expenses.
Okay.
You might not make a profit, it's okay. But worst case scenario, you must be secured that whatever is going to the project, whether by your term loan, whether it's going to interest, whether it's a marketing cost, construction cost, land cost, your final product should give you minimum that in a worst case scenario. And then I think after that, it's all good.
Oh, that's amazing. And I guess this detailed planning and this whole procedure of yours has helped you grow and proliferate so much. And touch wood, it should be like that only, because I am personally very much inspired by this journey of yours. And also I saw that because like once you were successful in this, you also explored the mining sector as well. You open, and I want to know about that as well. कि आपने mining जब start किया, what were the were you having some kind of expectations from mining, and what was the thought behind it? कि like real estate में like now you have grown, so mining में you thought कि it would be like आपको कैसा ऐसा लगा कि like mining में it would be like a good decision, and if someone who wants to pursue it, तो वो कब and at what point they should step into the scene?
See, when you do any project which you complete and sell, the sets do not remain with you. They temporary your sets. They are basically stock in trade. But when you do an infrastructure investment like mining, the asset becomes your base. And once you know the output of those assets is something which is contributing to the nation vision. What's the nation vision? Growth. Roads, railways, parks, logistic parks, in buildings. For all that, what's the raw material? A metal, which is coming out of mines. What we do, stones, crush them, convert them into different sizes and supply them. So market is assured. It's being used for the right purpose. And then you have the assets which are owned by you. The assets will grow in value. Your business will grow in value with the times have come. You can't go wrong. Now, again, out here, I will give you an example. I acquired this project from Aditya Birla Group Ultratech.
Okay.
Now, they're the giant. But sometimes for the big giant to pay full attention to a smaller project is difficult. So what differentiator we could bring is Aditya Birla Group was using it for a captive use for their own RMC plant. So therefore, it can never be profitable for them. So therefore, they decided to hive it off. Whereas for us, it was a pure business. So we explored its full potential. Today, we are producing almost 160 or 70% of our plant capacity by making certain modification to that. And we are profitable. So actually, it's a case study that where Aditya Birla Group or Ultratech could not make money, how this new journey could make money. But it's again all about professionalism, all about micro details, all about planning, all about monetizing the right things.
Okay. And sir, if I also read कि you have also pursued law. You have been an in-house legal counselor. So, and mining में there are like maybe might be I'm wrong, but I think legally there are a lot of complications also in mining also that one have to face. So
Not necessarily. I think that's in every business, and that was never the reason for me to get into mining.
okay,
So, in fact, study of a law is good for every business, even for every employee, otherwise also, even anybody, human being, because
But-
you know what is right and what's wrong.
but
So-
that ever affected your business, like the legal complexities, it ever affected the mining
See,
business?
once you become a businessman, you stop handling your own legal cases.
Okay.
If you continue to be a professional, you cannot be entrepreneur. You can be professional entrepreneur, but you can't be expert of only one trade and run a business. I did my law. I was best at it till I did it. The day I exited, even my own case, I give to outside lawyers. So I don't do where I'm not 100% up to the date. Today, my own legal cases, I don't appear in the court.
Okay.
I hire a professional lawyer. Because today, I want to concentrate on my core business, which is selling, which is manufacturing, which is education. So I want to concentrate on that.
And also, so when you just I just remember this question that recently I had this conversation with someone. You should be like in the initial stage of any business or any entrepreneurship that you are having. आपको हर चीज की knowledge रहनी चाहिए. Everything you should be knowing of. You should be like jack of all or jack of like there's this, I'm not remembering that phrase, but you should be expert in every field. Like not expert also, but you should know ki what is happening. Ki like let's say what is the legal aspect, what is the technological aspect, what is the administration aspect, HR aspect. Everything you should be aware of and you should know. So do you think it is a very valid approach या फिर you should just take expertise in one field and you should उसी में आपको grow करते रहना चाहिए, and for others you should hire people?
See, any entrepreneur has to be leader. And leader just requires common sense.
Okay.
All the professionals, all the experts can be hired. You should know what is your vision, what is your mission, and you have to reach there. Of course, you have to minimize the cost, you have to improve the productivity. These are all common sense matters. So leadership is a core thing for any businessman to be successful. Leadership does not mean that you work yourself everything. Leadership means get the right people, train them to do what you want to do, and give them a freedom to perform. So every leadership or every businessman's only job is one: man management. If you manage your employees well, they will manage your business well.
And how do you like, how can one ensure कि एकदम like you have done it so well? So if you have to, like, let's say today I came to you and I say, so I want to master this skill of management, I want to learn this. So what would be that one thing that you suggest ki the first step that you should take is this? What would be that?
See, first, how keen is your interest? Is it peripheral or are you really interested? A lot of time, whomever we talk to, we start aspiring to do what he's good at. But obviously, your DNA is not meant for that. Your DNA is meant to be good in one particular thing. So you need to focus that. So I would always say, test your waters, do a couple of things, then learn what you're good at, and then invest time in that.
And that's, I'm right now only I'm getting so much to learn, and it's just that it's not usual for me ki, like I get to learn so much about business, and especially like if I have to be very honest, this will be the very first time I'm having like an interaction with such a big businessman, such a big entrepreneur who is also contributing to the society. And yes, this is, and also when I met you, I remember very distinctly that you were like so friendly to me ki, आओ, just like you're like, आओ बेटा क्या हुआ, and you like just listen to my proposal so calmly, because I was even new, I was so nervous, like I was very shaky when I was even speaking. So that is, I guess, that somewhere shows me ki you are very appreciative of what you are. As you said, you're culturally very humble, and but this is one thing that I have seen that some of my friends also have mentioned ki business mein when you are at the top now, you start to get that kind of that humbleness or that down to earth character somewhere starts fading in some of the, like, not everyone, not saying about everyone, but it is a case that is mostly observed. So because of all that fame, how do you maintain that humble behavior of yours throughout your journey despite of reaching such heights?
अपने पास अपना है ही क्या? हम आए थे क्या लेके आए थे, और जाएंगे क्या लेके जाएंगे, तो घमंड किस चीज का है? राइट?
Wow.
खाली हाथ आए थे, खाली हाथ जाना है. It's a journey. Enjoy the journey.
Hmm.
And you can only enjoy the journey when people around you are happy. So I'm people's man. Out here I come. We have something called lunch and learn.
Huh.
One side my driver is sitting with me. One side my CEO is sitting with me. I have lunch with them.
Oh wow.
And we share something small of the smallest problem they have. So every time we pick up 10 people or 15 people, depending on the capacity of a place where I am, from across the board, from all levels, by lottery. It could be even sweeper in my office. And we sit and talk and eat for 2 hours together.
Wow.
So then people feel this man belongs to us. And when people start taking that you belong to them, they will give their life for you. So I said again a few minutes back that manage the people well. And managing people does not mean only pay them well. Manage their ego well, manage their respect well, manage their integrity well. Let their self-esteem be boosted. Driver can be very proud if you treat him well, but driver could be very upset also if you abuse him the moment you sit in a car. It's the same driver, the same human being, is doing the same work. The passenger is one, car is one, driver is one. But the conversation between two people can either mar his day or make his day. So be a change what you want other people to do. You expect everybody to be good. So start it with you. Be good to people.
Also, sir, when you mention about journey, I'm sure कि आपका like traveling में मेरे को कहीं ना कहीं ऐसा लगता है कि like आपका traveling में आपका journeys में बहुत interest है. And my next question is related to that only. Like अब आप automobile sector में भी like you came, you started Garnet Motors, and you maintain so many partnerships with multiple reputed brands like Mercedes only, and so many more things you have done in this. So उससे पहले before we go to that question, do you love cars?
Of course. Who doesn't love cars?
आपकी कोई favorite car है ऐसी जो?
My, of course, car is standing next to us.
Oh wow.
The Mercedes Maybach.
Wow. Personally,
S-Class.
Personally, it's like यहाँ पे same बोलूँगा. ये है मेरी भी favorite car. And that's why when I was like here, when I entered, I was like so fascinated कि wow, this is kind of another thing that I like. And I guess it goes well with your personality. एकदम classy and
It goes well with everybody's personality.
but
It enhances everybody's personality.
True. No, but आपके साथ when I till now from what I have known about you in this conversation अभी तक मेरे को तो ये लग रहा है कि like एकदम simple yet classy. That
Thank
vibe
you.
comes from you very well. And also like now I was talking about automobile sector. You have done so many strategic partnerships with so multiple brands and multiple companies. आपने उसे maintain कैसे किया? Like how have you secured and sustained these partnerships so well, and what strategies have you used for the same?
Be professional, be honest, be transparent, and do your job best. You don't have to do anything else.
Okay.
So you don't have to make any special efforts to create a relationship.
Okay.
Relationships are based on your trust, on your performance, and on your deliverables.
Wow. And कहीं ना कहीं I feel कि like when I was at the C2 reality event, I saw there was this investing round as well. कि वहाँ पे all the kids were coming and they were pitching their idea. And कहीं ना कहीं I am sure कि you also had to like pitch this idea of your like to the brands. You might have sent a proposal or something कि हाँ we are good at this job and we'll be able to do it very well. Somewhere you have to convince them if I'm not wrong. And so I want to know कि अगर let's say कोई भी aspiring businessman, let's say I only come to you and I say कि sir I have this idea in me and I want to pitch it to investors या फिर I want to do this partnership with so an XYZ brand. So आप अपने experience से क्या कहोगे कि what strategy should I use? आपने कौन सी use की थी when you did this and क्या चीजें नहीं करनी है?
See, सबसे पहले you should know what is your passion.
Okay.
Don't pretend it.
Okay.
If you do not like selling, don't get into that jump. Now, whatever business you do, there are three fundamental things you should look at.
Okay.
Is the business doable? Is the business scalable? Is the business repeatable? And fourth thing, is it profitable? So if it clicks these four boxes, at least you are in the right direction. Thereafter, the trade expertise can be acquired. What OEM look at it is, are you professional? Are you honest? Are you ethical? And do you have that power in your passion in that to drive this business? Any sale will multiply if you do it with passion.
Okay.
So that's what they look at. And they absolutely, you have to have right resources. So that's what they look at. Like you have a right resources, that resources are acquired by ethical means. So they do a lot of background check, they do due diligence checks. Like brand like Mercedes will not tie up with anybody, even if you're a billionaire, if you're not ethical. So very, very important for the big brand is that you are ethical, your background checks are done, you have done nothing wrong, you're respectable, and you have been a professional in your life. So I think all these things stood with me. So both me and my son are professionals. Both of us are lawyers. Both of us are management graduates. Both of us have worked with other people. We have proven our capabilities there. We have made money for other people. So there's no reason we will not make for ourselves. So once we make money for ourselves, obviously OEM will also succeed in doing what they want to do.
One thing I also noticed is that you have a very strong relationship and bond with your family as well. As you mentioned, obviously, आप दोनों का, like, you both have done this business so well, and till now you're also maintained that relationship. आपको लगता है कहीं ना कहीं in your entrepreneur journey that relationship with your family has helped you grow?
Absolutely. Unless your family is with you, you can't do anything in life, be it a job, be it a profession, or be it a business. If you are not at peace at home, in a day you spend roughly 14 to 15 hours at home. And if those 14 and 15 hours are not conducive, they don't make you feel good, they don't keep you happy, they don't keep you charged, you can never perform in 8-9 hours. So unless your family supports you, you cannot grow in a business. Then again, what you take from families, be it parents, be it your spouse, be it your children, are their vision and your vision aligned? No, my mother was never interested in making money, but her vision was whatever you do, be ethical. That one lesson has taken me places in life. Wow. I will not do anything unethical, even if I make a lot of money. So I'm good for that. And then family passion is combined. My son is passionate about car, I am passionate about car, and all of us are passionate about making money. So you cannot be an entrepreneur when you say, oh, I don't mind if you lose the money. You have to make sure that you are profitable. Your business is profitable and you make money. And making money does not mean that I want to acquire things for myself. That money can be put to any use. Today, with God's grace, we are able to reinvest in society. So that's our initiative into the education field. Like KS Cheema Knowledge Foundation is not a money-making organization. It's a money-spending organization. So you make money to spend on the society, not necessarily on yourself, on your children, on your spouse. That's a duty you have as a citizen of this country or citizen of society.
Wow. I very much agree to this, because there was this one friend of mine, and he was also part of KS Cheema Knowledge Foundation, and he, if I'm not wrong, he even did his internship from here only, from this branch only particularly. Recently he completed that, and I was very happy for him, and he told me about the experience, like at that event only I got to talk to a few of people. उन्होंने आपके बारे में एक चीज मुझे कही कि he is very kind, and he is always open to teach you things and helps you learn that in the right way.
No, I'm open to learning from people. You guys come with new ideas. So every one of you teaches me something new.
Yeah, that is, and yeah, that even I noticed कि आपका ये बहुत एक क्या बोल सकते हैं 360 degree approach है कि I'll also learn, and whatever I think I can give you.
Basically, sharing is just caring. So if you care for me, you will teach something. I care for you, I'll teach something. I'll give you an example today. Like when I sat in a car from the hotel, I asked my driver, यार हमारे पिकअप एंड ड्रॉप में क्या प्रॉब्लम है? ही लिस्टेड आउट, सर ये अच्छा हो रहा है, ये बुरा हो रहा है. मैंने ऑफिस में आके चेक किया, यार इसको हम कैसे अच्छा कर सकते हैं. वो ड्राइवर को मैसेज पहुंच गया कि उनकी बात को लेकर के मैंने तुरंत एक्शन लिया है. तो नेक्स्ट टाइम विल बी वेरी encouraged to give me suggestion for the improvement of the organization. So encourage people, show them their advice or their suggestion is valuable and you are implementing it. Then next time they'll come forward you. But if I listen to him and after that forget it and don't even do anything, next time he will not tell anything to me. So you have to respect yourself. What does that mean? That when you are asking somebody to give you 10 minutes to give his output or his thought process to you, make utilize of that and let that person know that you value that. People will give their life for you.
I so much agree to that fact. I mean, that feedback wala attitude ki, yes, I want, like, whatever we are doing, taking constant feedbacks, take and understanding ki where we are going on wrong from every perspective. ये चीज पता है, ये चीज my mom also taught me कि always देखो, do whatever you want to do, but always listen to others. They might know something, they might have something that you never even imagined and expected. Recently, when I was doing this one podcast with Dr. Evan Meisner, and he is the founder of BNI, and he has a very great learning of networking, very great idea of networking, everything. Like, he's referred to as the father of modern networking, and I was very excited for that. When I asked about to him, ki, sir, how did you like networking? How did you build this empire? How did you build a whole business on networking? He told me one single thing, that is, you don't know who the next person is knowing. Like, and that is what he made his principle in life, कि हाँ, मैं सबसे बात करूंगा, क्योंकि मुझे नहीं पता सामने वाला किसको जानता है. Maybe he might be knowing the next Ambani, maybe he's the next Ambani, maybe he's the next Adani, or maybe he's the next KS Cheema. We don't know. It's like, it's just that networking thing you should be inculcating, and because of that learning, I have changed my approaches in a lot of new ways. I tried, like, मैं बहुत ही shy था, as you know, and but that at that event I tried to open up as like, okay, no, today I'll talk to people, today I'll learn, today I'll network, and it helped me in a lot of ways. And I guess this is something that I can even like see कि आप you are very much open to communicate कि हाँ, I want to talk to people, I want to learn about them, which I even see it कि आप कितने लोगों से interact किए, कितने बच्चों से वो किए. So how do you develop that sense of communicating so well?
See, as long as you do not have a self-interest, you're not selfish, you will consider everybody equal. Why should you differentiate whether it's Adani, the couple of names you dropped it to Ambani or you? For me, I'm talking to a person.
Okay.
He's made of same bones, same flesh, same blood. Software could be little bit different. Hardware is identical. So for me, best ideas come from the most humble people, because they have the problem, and then you have to define a problem and define a solution to that, and that's a business opportunity. So talk to people. Doesn't matter who they are. Everybody is fine. I just tell you, I have with the idea coming from my office boy in Muscat when I was working, saved us $500,000 reals, which is almost $1.25 million.
Whoa.
Just by changing water bottles from 250 milliliters to 1 liter. Because 1 liter water, when packed into a quarter liter bottle, costs you 4 times higher. Because the cost of bottle goes up. And he says, we don't give bottle to anybody. As a hospitality, we serve them in glass. So why should we buy small bottles? Let's buy a bigger bottle of 5 liters, 10 liters. You're using glass in any case. The cost of acquisition was 1/10.
Wow.
So this came from my office peon. And we awarded him with a Mercedes car after that.
Wow. I'm so inspired by this. Wow. It's okay. This is it would take some time for me to digest it, but yeah, it's very. I guess ये कहीं ना कहीं आज की एक ये सीख मैं like this is like now I always say this कि in every podcast I get to learn something new, but this is not just learning. This is getting inspired so much and so well that I guess I'll be now even more open to opportunities, and that humbleness I'll also work more on, because I think I am like, I do have that, like my parents have inculcated that in me, always be humble, and I guess somewhere I have been successful, but I think there is more room to learn for, and that I have also like in the whole conversation that we have had till now, मैंने एक चीज notice की that you are very detail oriented also. You are very like, okay, you are open to new things, but you're also very detailed. You want to get into the depth, and that same thing when we were having that investor round at that event, मैंने देखा कि you were scrutinizing the kids a lot कि हाँ आप business करें, लेकिन मुझे ये specifics भी चाहिए. You should have that knowledge. Then why do you think like आपने ये जो this part of your personality being so detail oriented, do you think it has like आपको ऐसा if one incident you have to share with me where it has helped you a lot, what would it be?
I think getting into details. Unless you are a man of a detail, you cannot find fault with somebody else. And unless you can find a fault, you can't improve somebody. So if you have to identify somebody's strength and weakness, you have to get into micro detail. You don't have to do it every day.
Okay.
But people should know that you understand the business better than them. Then only they'll work for you.
Okay.
Otherwise, they'll try fooling you. You might not do it every day. I must know how to sell a car. I don't have to sell it every day. But if I see my sales consultant talking to a customer, I should have a thing or suggestion or two to add to him. बेटा ये आपने ऐसा किया है, नेक्स्ट टाइम ऐसा करो और ज्यादा अच्छा होगा. इस गाड़ी का ये फीचर है, आपने नहीं बेचा, उसको समझाओ और करो. So you need to know more than anybody else if you want to be an entrepreneur.
कोई एक ऐसा आप just for better understanding for our listeners and for personally for myself as well, कि आप कोई ऐसा एक incident share कर सकते हो which has helped this, where this trait of yours has helped you a lot?
I'll give you an example. In 2006, I think,
Hmm.
so we were doing a shipping project. So we
Huh.
had set up a methanol plant of 1 million ton,
Hmm.
and we wanted to buy a carriers, methanol carriers.
Hmm.
So there was two ways for us. One, we charter the ship from somebody else, or we acquire them and use them.
Okay.
So I made a proposal to my chairman, ki, look, there's no point chartering from third party. Let's invest in the vessels so that we save a lot of money and we have a control on them.
Hmm.
So typically, like anybody else, my chairman distributed that project report with 4 or 5 directors, and next we were supposed to have a discussion.
Hmm.
I realized that none of them have come prepared microscopically.
Okay.
Everybody says, oh, we don't have experience in this field. This is a high risk. Who will operate it? We don't have operations details. So when I told them, I said, you have not read the document properly. I said, they are speaking just what you want to hear. They do not know. I say, we are running a risk. Yes, it's covered by insurance, not by me. My vessels are hired for next 10 years. There's no risk of business. We are partnering with a person who's expert in operating shipping company. So where is the wrong? So that's the day I was made director from a vice president.
Wow.
So unless you know things backwards, you should not propose something to somebody else. And once you propose something to somebody else, you should have a thinking or convincing power that it's the right project. Not necessarily every project will get approved. Of course, company has so many parameters, do it or not. Like today, when I decide on a project, it's not only the profit. There's so many things. Do I have so much of disposable income? Do I have so much of extra money to invest? There's so many parameters. But as a project stand alone, it should be a good project. So that without micro detail, you can't do it.
This one thing makes me, think this is just one observation that I have made, that you need to read a lot, like a lot of reports. You have to study a lot. You have to read a lot to get and dive deep into those details. मतलब आपको रोज काफी सारे maybe reports, maybe financial statements, trends, ये सब बहुत ज़्यादा ही study करना होगा on a deep level to understand this. But if you have to suggest कि, let's say if I'm doing podcasting, so I want to study the industry very well. So मैं वो details मतलब कैसे मैं उसको deeply study कर सकता हूँ, जैसे आप study कर रहे हैं, आपने ये जो story share की.
Follow the guy who's best in this profession.
Okay.
Study him. You don't have to study anything else.
Okay. Wow. And
because he has gone through all these phases, he reached this stage, and if he's best in India or best in the world, follow what he has done.
Okay.
And try to do that.
Wow. And apart from that, anything else that can help you, perfect this skill, if in the long run?
So that, of course, you have to have the right voice, right modulations, right presentations, right equipments. The basic thing is, do you have in that I want to be the best podcaster? And the moment you have that in you, that I want to be the best podcasters, we call it best or nothing, then everything will fall in place. You will automatically read more, you will listen to more podcasts, you will understand their etiquettes, you will understand their strength, you will understand their weakness, and you will learn along the way.
Wow. And yes, to all my listeners, I request you कि ये वाला part please दोबारा से सुनो, because this is, for me, it is something that I want to convey to you, that this is the learning that I am getting, and you should listen to this once more, because I personally think it's something that we should learn. So yes. Also, sir, from your observation, what do you think is the future of automobile industry? So many innovations are coming day by day. Mergers are happening, innovations are coming. We are now getting self-driving cars, और इतना कुछ बहुत कुछ हो रहा है. So आपको क्या लगता है कि आगे जाके कैसी opportunities लोगों को मिलेंगी, नए नए टेक्नोलॉजीज के साथ क्या changes आएंगे? What's your observation for this industry?
See, people's appetite for innovations, for better cars, for better luxury is never going to satisfy. So whatever you prepare, there will be always a room for innovation. Any OEM, original equipment manufacturer, or people who manufacture cars, have to be conscious of the fact that every time they have to bring something better than what is in the market. Two is very the most important factor is, are you safe in the car you are driving? So there are a lot of cars which have say 14 airbags, somebody has 7 airbags. What is the difference? It's your life. Like it's the only car in the world which has 14 airbags is our S-Class, which is standing here.
Oh,
No
wow.
other car has that. So look at the reason why people buy Mercedes. Your life is secured. And look at the all state heads. Why do they drive Mercedes S-Class? Putin drives Mercedes. Trump drives Mercedes. All the kings in Middle East drive Mercedes. Our dignitaries drive Mercedes. There must be a reason. So you have to assure that you give them something what they need. What do they need? They need comfort, but more than that, they need security. They need safety. So you have to come up with the innovation that will become a choice of people for a reason. So everybody has to aspire to do that.
And do you think that the industry is more focused? Like, recently I've seen this case. There are a lot of like India is introducing a lot of safe cars. Like, in safety checks, they are getting 5 stars. They are like getting the top-notch safety. So, do you think this is changing in the industry?
Yeah, people are becoming more conscious. They are more conscious about safety. They are more conscious about their health. So most of the cars, when you sit inside and you start circulating the AC air inside, basically you're not getting a fresh air. But if you drive one of our car called KS, you get 99.9% pure air. You drive in that car for 10-15 kilometers, you will feel charged. The whole day tiredness will disappear. It's like getting a spa done. So that's why people are buying it.
Wow.
Right? So you have to always come out where people enjoy the rides, their health is taken care of, their safety is taken care of, their security is taken care of.
Wow. Wow, this is so much to learn. I'll be honest, like there was this one project in my college where we had to do an industrial visit at one of the OEM factories. We chose Motherson and we went over there. हमने वहाँ पे जो चीजें देखी, the way we studied the manufacturing of a car bumper, बहुत appreciative. We were all appreciative to the fact that how much effort goes into making that, and so many details. Like everyone was explaining us कि ये sensor यहाँ पे लगता है. This is there. So many minute details they are there behind just one part of car.
Absolutely.
So this is, I guess, this is very. Again, this industry also requires a lot of perfection, a lot of attention to detail, and I guess you have all of that. So you are like doing so well, and you are doing like you are teaching so many people so much. So
Thank you.
also, so yes, but there is also one thing that I want to know, because this is I have no idea about. इसके बारे में कुछ पता ही नहीं है मुझे, and आज मैं सीखना चाहता हूँ, मैं जानना चाहता हूँ. That is कि what are some of the things that people don't know about automobile industry? कि like now you have been in this for so long. कुछ चीजें ऐसी definitely होंगे जिनके बारे में like people just see it from the front, but at the back end they don't know कि ये struggles भी है.
आपकी किसी भी कार में आप देखो आजकल इतने गैजेट्स हैं. Even I today cannot name all of them. Right? So if you really want to enjoy your car, and how do you differentiate it? See that what all you have in your car, which software, which facility, which feature, how many, beautifying, safe feature, acoustics, all that. So learn from those features and utilize them.
Okay.
In India, when we're buying a car, we compare उसमें 15 features and इसमें 500 features है. But how many of them we use them? So I think people have to become conscious of what we are buying and how we're going to use that. And that's going to drive the industry forward.
Okay. Yeah, that's I agree with that, because ये मैंने देखा है कि when like companies are advertising about their cars, ये पहले नहीं होता था. आफ्टर अभी रिसेंटली दिस शिफ्ट हैज केम ऑफ सेफ्टी. पहले सब फीचर्स ही देखते थे कि हाँ ओके दिस कार इज हैविंग दीज मेनी फीचर्स, दिस कार इज हैविंग दीज मेनी फीचर्स, तो ये अच्छी होगी. एंड देन लेटर ऑन दे वर नॉट हैप्पी विद, दे वर नॉट सेटिस्फाइड. सो ये केस तो मैंने देखा था. इनफैक्ट दिस द बेस्ट एग्जांपल ऑफ दिस आई थिंक इज ऑफ टाटा नैनो. कि दैट कार वाज सो गुड, इट वाज वन ऑफ द सेफेस्ट कार इन द वेरी
category.
Yes, and it was very budget friendly as well. But कहीं ना कहीं वो, because it was like instead of saying budget friendly, Ratan Tata said कि this is a cheap car. So वो word की वजह से the whole innovation was sidelined. So yes,
I wouldn't say that. There are so many reasons for that. But anyway, sometimes products just don't go along. And same nano, if you launch today, it will be successful.
Definitely, ये तो मैं I definitely agree that. And also
see, look at the vision of a man. What he wanted to achieve. He wanted to achieve that people who are driving two-wheelers, who are exposed to 60-degree temperature in some part of India, Rajasthan, etc., or extreme cold, and who get wet in the rain when they are driving. By putting little bit extra money, they get roof on their head. They have a car to drive. They are reasonably safe from cold and heat. There's AC in the car. There's an engine. All that you need is basic features. After that, you go into luxury. So that was not a luxury. That was a mode of transportations which is safe, which is little user friendly, and which can be afforded.
Wow, that's a very great way of seeing at a time.
So that man was visionary. We can't underwrite him or take away from him that his project failed. No, that look at the ultimate aim with which he built that car.
Yeah, no, but you know, like one thing that I feel sad about, honestly, because I was like, एक मेरी एक इच्छा थी कि कभी I get to meet Ratan Tata. Now that won't be able to happen, but I think that this was a very great move, like a very great innovation by Ratan Tata, जिसको लोगों ने कहीं ना कहीं just sideline कर दिया, because I was very
होता है हर एंटरप्रेन्योर की लाइफ में जो इवेंट्स आते हैं कुछ ना कुछ ऐसा होता है बट आवर जॉब इज टू कंटिन्यू
so
किसी भी काम में कुछ भी करो 100% सक्सेस नहीं मिलती
okay.
राइट आप बिजनेस में 10 करते हो उसमें से 2 फेल होते हैं एंटरप्रेन्योर का ये काम ही है रिस्क लेना तो रिस्क तभी लोगे जहां पे आपको बॉर्डर केस लगता है जो सब कोई नहीं करना चाहते आप कर रहे हो तभी आपका वेल्थ मल्टीप्लाई होगा तो 10 जगह करोगे 3 जगह फेल होंगे 7 जगह होगे जो 7 जगह होगा वो 3 जगह की लॉस कवर कर लेगा बट दैट डज नॉट मीन दैट वी स्टॉप venturing into new things.
Yeah, I mean, this is one struggle that is that we have seen. आपको पर्सनली लाइक थ्रू आउट योर जर्नी आपको एक ऐसा स्ट्रगल कोई हुआ या ऐसे कोई ऑब्स्टिकल दैट यू हैव फेस्ड इन दिस इंडस्ट्री या not just in this industry but overall in your entrepreneurial journey?
Many every day. I have more failures than successes in my life.
Okay,
But
and
I've learned from those failures.
how do you like as you said आप क्या like if let's say something goes south, so what is your next step after, you know, like
Learn
let's say-
from that. Learn from your mistake and don't make that mistake second time.
Okay, and like if let's say आज मैं again I say कि sir मेरा like I started this and I failed miserably, so what should I do next? What will you say?
So whatever mistake you have made while doing that, I'm sure either lack of efforts, lack of concentrations, lack of choosing the right product, lack of choosing the right field, correct that and start again.
Okay, wow, that's I guess this is like basically circling down to all the
Absolutely.
things that you have done now. Also, sir, आपके like if you had to share, like there has been a lot of, you know, like dark phases that some business people have to face when they are going through the industry. Like they have this certain expectation that we'll start this business ऐसा होगा, but then things at one point they do go south and then they have to, you know, like they get a lot of them get discouraged and they don't, you know, like fight for, you know, like getting up and कि वापस से हम शुरू करें.
So you should have analytical skill after certain times whether this business is going to work or not. Don't get into attachment with the business.
Okay.
Like I have opened certain dealerships. I've run them for a year. I realized no, it's sinking funds. And don't fall into the fallacy of where I've invested so much into these projects. In any case, you're not going to get that back and you're losing more money. So have the guts to close down that business as early as possible and start something new.
Okay.
So in my short tenure of 5-6 years in automobile, I've probably closed 4 or 5 outlets.
Okay.
I've written down the losses. But had I continued with them, it was taken my bandwidth, it was taken by all financial resources, it was taken by all human resources. Then I was wasting my good efforts, good money for bad things. So I've closed them, I've started another dealership. Now again, some of them are successful, some of them will be successful. So whatever you do, if it fails, don't get sticky to it. Close it, change over. It's like you buy 5 shirts, 4 don't fit you. Throw them, don't say कि नहीं मेरे को रखनी है. अच्छी शर्ट खरीद के रखने के लिए जगह बनाओ ना. तो आपके पास पैसे उतना ही है. वहां से बंद करो लॉस करना, दूसरी जगह इन्वेस्ट करो, प्रॉफिट करो. तो quickness of a decision is a key factor for any entrepreneur success.
Do you think your relationship with, or like as you said, you are passionate about making money, your family is passionate about making money, do you think like आज के डेट में people have a very wrong notion about money कि okay, it's just something that we have to gain in order to live a prosperous life, but we don't try to understand money. I read this statement in Psychology of Money. So this brings me to this question कि like आपने अपना relationship like पैसों के साथ कैसे रखा है कि like how do you see money? How do you see opportunity? Like पैसे को कैसे आपने समझा और उसमें आपने opportunities कैसे ढूंढी?
See, एंटरप्रेनर का जिंदगी में एक ही मिशन होता है,
Hmm.
leave fit footprint behind.
Hmm.
Right?
Hmm.
To leave that footprint, you have to create something.
Hmm.
And to create something, you need money.
Hmm. Hmm.
So unless your business recurringly give you a lot of money, you really can't create a footprint.
Hmm. Hmm.
So for that, you have to learn the art of making money from profits of the organizations
Okay.
with ethical means.
Hmm.
Anybody says I'm into a business but I don't want money, he's lying.
Wow. And also this thing that I want to know from you is key, like as you said, I'm just like today I'm getting to learn so much. So when I'm listening, sometimes I do get zone out because it gets very interesting. Where I have heard this one conception and one observation from every entrepreneur, that is you have to start early. Like Warren Buffett started investing from the age of 10 और उसी से उनका wealth जो है वो बनते 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 काफी like आज के डेट में it's a very like this is wealth is a very large one and no even he wouldn't have contemplated at one point कि हाँ इतना भी ये इसके worth इतने ज़्यादा बढ़ जाएगी. So do you think the same is with entrepreneurship? कि you have to start early?
It's never too late. I've started at the age of 50.
Okay. Oh wow.
Okay. So whenever you start, that's a new beginning. Only thing is then you have a lesser time, you have to run faster. The distance is same. You want to reach a particular level. Let's say that I want to climb 5,000 feet. Somebody has started 40 hours before, somebody is starting 20 hours later. So the person who started later to reach faster than him at the same time, he has to walk fast. So when we have started late, we have to make sure that we work harder, we work more diligently to reach the same level. So it's never too late.
Oh, and you know, recently I also came across this statement by Nikhil Kamath that the more boring a business is and industries and sector is, the more profitable it would be for you. Like he said कि अब अगर आप किसी business के बारे में passionate हो ना, then you might get attached to it, which you also mentioned कि if you are attached to it, then you won't make profit, you won't grow. And he said कि if the industry is really boring, अगर वो एकदम ऐसा है कि like you know it's very boring, it's not, you think कि हाँ इतना बहुत ही conventional है और बहुत ही simple सा है, then you have that chance कि okay, you will make more money. That's an observation by him as an investor. So what are your thoughts on that?
I haven't thought of from that angle, but I think everybody is good at something.
Okay.
Everybody can't be good at everything. If I'm good at manufacturing, I'm not necessarily good at selling.
Okay.
So I should try to adopt a business where my core strength becomes a core business formula.
Okay.
Like if I'm a people's man, so I must do a business where more people are required.
Hmm.
If I'm a good engineer, I must acquire more machines where I can manufacture more.
Okay.
So I think everybody's built differently. But after you reach a certain level, again I said the entrepreneur is only one person who can manage people. Then after that, business, whether you start A or B or C, does not really make a difference as long as fundamentals are right.
Wow. You're also into investing, if I'm not wrong. You're like very much into investing and share market, if I'm not wrong.
No, I don't invest in share market. I think I must invest in my shares.
Huh.
If anybody can make more money with my money, that means I'm an idiot.
Okay.
I should be capable of multiplying my wealth with the biggest factor. Then I'm an entrepreneur.
Okay.
If I'm investing money in somebody else's company, that means I'm surrendering that person is better manager or better CEO or better entrepreneur than me. So as a rule in my life, I've never invested even 1 rupee in stock market.
Okay.
My money is where my heart lies.
And do you invest like as an investor? Do you invest in different businesses?
I invest in startups.
Okay.
And I don't talk about them. This is all personal.
In your opinion, what do you think is a very great start for an entrepreneur?
Everybody, again, I told you, start is a great passion, great knowledge, and capacity to work hard.
Okay.
Whatever you do, you can be successful. There's so many things you can do in life. Like somebody the other day was saying that he started making socks little different than anybody else. You saw the other day in Kenya. He's successful. He's making 20 crore rupees turnover.
Oh, wow.
I think you did not see him. He made a presentation in our
I wanted
seminar.
to meet him, but
Yeah.
till that,
So
I guess.
look at like what can you do in socks? That guy just trained it, made the more breathing socks. It's a 20 crore business. So I said, whatever you do passionate, you do one thing at a time, make it successful, then go to the next. But whatever you do, put your heart and soul into it.
You know, you mentioned there's this one incident that happened at your event that I want to share. That is we were networking, and after that lunch happened, there was this one guy. He came to me. He said कि मैं ना यहाँ पे सबसे मिल चुका हूँ. मैंने ना सबसे मैंने चीमा सर से भी बात कर ली. मैंने बाकी जो इतने भी डिग्निटरीज थे सबसे बात कर ली. मैंने सबके नंबर्स दे दिया. नाउ आई हैव दिस स्टार्टअप आइडिया कि मैं ये भी करूंगा, ये भी करूंगा, ये भी करूंगा, और मैं ना इन सबसे आई स्टडी देयर पोर्टफोलियो, एंड मैं वैसा ही पोर्टफोलियो भी बनाने की कोशिश करूंगा, एंड आई ऑल्सो ग्रो माई बिजनेस. एंड ही स्टार्टेड टू आस्क कि सर आप इतना पॉडकास्टिंग, आप इतना पॉडकास्ट वगैरह करते हो, आपका रिसर्च टीम वगैरह सब होगा, आप मुझे इन सब के लाइक दिस इज अ वेरी फनी इंसिडेंट दैट हैपेंड विद मी कि आप मुझे इन सब लाइक दिस वाज द वियर्ड रिक्वेस्ट कि आप मुझे उन सब के पोर्टफोलियोज जो है वो आप ढूंढ के मेरे को लाके दे सकते हो ताकि मैं भी वैसा बना सकूं. मैंने कहा दैट इज समथिंग वेरी पर्सनल, बट it's like we can't do that. But the passion that he was having now, as you said, कि like मैं इसको बनाऊंगा, within a year I'll make it 100 crore business. So this passion really, like as you said, जितने आपने examples दिए, this passion I think it was really very, it moved me a lot कि हाँ भाई क्या passion है बंदे में. But it also kind of makes him believe in the fact कि हाँ मैं fail नहीं हो सकता, because from his attitude I didn't see कि उसको ये दिख रहा है कि कहीं ना कहीं चीजें साउथ जा सकती है, and he was not having that backup plan.
See, again, three things in life. Youngsters have a lot of knowledge. And knowledge is available on Google today. But the experience comes with age. And experience comes from failures. So unless you have a combination of both, you might not have your own experience, but learn from other people's experience. What mistakes they have made, what are they learn out of that? You know, wise man always learn from other people's mistake. He doesn't have to make every mistake himself. But yes, what he was talking about is, yes, I'll acquire knowledge. Knowledge alone cannot make you entrepreneur. It's your hard work, it's your dedication, it's your passion, and that takes you to success.
Wow. And yeah, this this is I'm really enjoying this conversation. There are so many more things that I'm having, but yes, now we are almost at the end, and now will be a few more questions, and we'll be wrapping up. The first thing that I want to know is ki, like in today's day and age, people and businesses are shifting a lot on social media. So how have you taken that change, and how have you incorporated that in your business?
It's a must-have. You can't escape it. Use it to the extent you require it, but don't become slave of it.
Okay.
Don't waste all the times only to be seen in media, and don't concentrate on your business or your work. So social media is good to let people know what you're doing, provided that your audience are helping in your business. But if you just want a couple of more likes, it doesn't help you anywhere. That popularity doesn't take you anywhere. People will automatically know you when you do well in life.
Do you like social media? Do you like?
I do. I'm on one or two platforms like LinkedIn, but not on Facebooks, not on Instagrams, not on those.
Wow. And yeah, this is because आज के डेट में I think social media people are more interested. Like when I said na कि like I'll be having an interaction with KS Cheema, the most requested thing was कि social media पे उनके क्या thoughts है, आप वो पूछना एक बार. So that's why I asked this question, because like they are very curious about your mindset and your perspective towards social media, considering you as one of the inspirations for their entrepreneurship. Also, moving on, what do you think about the Indian startup ecosystem, and what do you think like in the coming time how the business sector of India, the startup sector of India will change, and how will you navigate yourself through the same?
See, the mindset of younger generation has changed over a decade. A decade back, probably there'll be one student or two students in a university who want to become an entrepreneur. And they were considered as bad boys. That, he couldn't get a job and he wants to start something of his own. And that was true. Probably in our time in 80s or 90s, if you don't get admission in engineering college, if you don't get admission to medical college, you don't become IAS, IPS, you don't get to defense force, you don't get admission in law, चलो अपना कुछ business कर लेते हैं. So it was a compulsive decision. Today, the most bright students are trying to do their own startup. Whether it's IITians, whether it's ISB, whether it's IIM Ahmedabad, people have decided before even studying their management that I want to become an entrepreneur. They learn all this and they define what entrepreneurial route they want to take. Government has a lot of support system in place, a lot of incubation centers, and we as a entrepreneurs or businessmen owe a duty that we handhold these youngsters. So when I said I don't want to talk about it, I invest a lot of money in small startups, handhold them, tell them what they don't know. They definitely know what they want to do, but how to do they don't know. Where to go, whom to approach, how to get funding from the bank, how to market, how to sell it. So if you guide them, I think India in next decade is going to be the largest startup ecosystem in the world.
Wow. Oh, I guess that's a very positive way to take it. And I guess like the way you are seeing at opportunities, I really am inspired by that. And I myself will look at this, like the whole startup system, everything that I'll see now, I'll have a better view. I'll have more of an optimistic view ki, हाँ, there is opportunity in this. I can, like derive the best out of it. And yes, I guess that's one of the biggest learnings from today that I'm getting. Uh, with that, one last thing that I want to know from you is that how is like who is the real KS Cheema? Not the entrepreneur, not the investor, not the like the inspirational figure, but the one who is with his
Young,
family.
innocent child.
And
I will not let child in me ever die. So I want to every day do new things, learn new things, and continue exploring what things I don't know.
wow. And yes, that's I really like it. And I'll be honest, मेरे को ना ये चीज एक like I noticed this about you कि like that curiosity. So as you said of child, I was about to say this. That curiosity you are having now, I sense that curiosity is from your vibrations. Ki, हाँ, you want to learn something new. You're having that thing. Ki, हाँ, आज, like I'm somewhere assuming कि if you see, let's say, if you're seeing someone, if the Gen Zs doing some new trends, you would be very interested to know कि हाँ, ये क्या कर रहे हो. You would be liking to
No, I'll
learn
be
about
very
it.
interested to learn. I don't know that, so why they are doing it?
Hmm.
Where does it takes them?
Mm-hmm.
There's no harm in learning something. You do it or you don't do it, it's different.
Mm-hmm.
But I need to deal with them. Tomorrow they are going to be my customers. All Gen Zs are people who are going to buy luxury cars tomorrow. See, in
Wow.
our time, we first invested in our house,
Hmm.
then we saved for our children and grandchildren, and then we thought of having enjoying any luxuries. Your age, your first step is forget about the house. Let me buy the car. Let me buy the luxury. Let me be visible in the market. So you guys are our youngest customers.
Thank you so much, sir. And yes, I guess, wow, today I learned so many new things and I'm so much thankful. I'm like full of gratitude only today.
Thank
So
you. I am
with that,
grateful to you that you came here all the way and talked to me.
it's like I really wanted to have this conversation because मैं सच्ची बोलूँ तो कहीं ना कहीं listeners से ज़्यादा मैं अपने लिए भी कर रहा हूँ कि मुझे आपसे तो बहुत कुछ सीखना था. I really was looking
I
forward to
think
this.
that's your greatness, the way you look at it. I'm as good as you are.
That is coming from you. So like it's too much for me today, but yeah, I have a lot to learn and
Thank
I'm
you.
so happy that today I got the chance.
Thank
So
you.
yes, so with that we are at the end of this episode. Before going, any message for our listeners for them?
Make success your habit. Work so hard that success cannot evade you.
Listen to this once more. This is a very strong message I feel, and yes, today I have one thing that I definitely did learn from you is that never lose hope, always be optimistic, and be the original, be passionate, but also be practical.
Yeah, you can't act for long.
Hmm. True, true. So with that, we are at the end of this episode. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
for being on this podcast, for giving us so many new things to learn about. And yes, thank you everyone for tuning in. And thanks to our gifting partner, Bazooki Perfumes. They look good, they feel good, they smell good. And yes, with that, thank you so much, everyone. This is your host and host, Apoorv. I'll be meeting you in the next episode. Till that, see you. Bye.